Good morning. Welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morris. Another beautiful morning out here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's interesting as I come on here every day. I always talk to you guys about this is my therapy session. This is where I get all my feelings and stuff out that I'm talking about with work. I talk about what I do in the community. So today it's going to be a little bit different. I have a guest on, Daren with St. Joseph the Worker. He's here. We've worked together. We've known each other for quite some time. Can't even remember how we got connected. I think it was some of my employees coming to you looking for tools, supplies. They needed help with that.
Over the years, yeah, even pre-COVID.
Yes. So we've kind of connected. I've become a community partner with them. He's got some great things that they do to help the community, help people get back to work. Over the years, I think it's always changing. There's new things happening. Right now, I know one of the biggest things for me with you guys is your housing program that some of my employees are in right now.
Yeah.
So let's, if you could, just tell a little intro about yourself and what you guys are doing and
Sure.
how we work together.
Yeah, so my name's Daren Strunk. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of St. Joseph the Worker. We've been around since 1988. Was incorporated out of the Andre House, and basically it was the mission of people that were on a soup line they would see the same able-bodied adults come through, and they'd say, hey, we could really be kind of a force in helping you get employment. So that's where it started, but I've been there for almost 13 years now.
Oh, wow.
And so basically we are here in the community to help people find quality employment. So that's connecting them to business partners. We help them with professional resumes. We help them with interview clothing, transportation. We're really removing any of the barriers that they would need to find quality employment. So we see people that are, taking public transportation, reentry clients, people that are in recovery. 'Cause some people, it's just maybe they don't know how to find a quality job or get connected to a partner. We're trying to keep people out of the staffing company game. And so we had met to really, one of the things that we did was once somebody got a quality job that was making at least, at the time, $16 an hour, we would help them with whatever they needed to start work. So that would be a bus pass, a gas card, work boots, paint tools, these types of things. And so to make sure that people had what they needed to start work. And so and we still do that today. We have an office in Phoenix and an office in Mesa. So somebody's walking through our doors, we're going to help them get connected to really trying to help businesses find quality applicants and just kind of connecting them to those opportunities. But then we created in 2020 a need that we saw when somebody would get a job that was, say they're making $18 an hour or $19 an hour. You think, oh, well, I could be okay. How am I going to get my own housing, or how am I going to get my own apartment? So we created a workforce housing program called Workforce Villages. And the concept of that was that you're going to live with us for 90 days. You're going to save 80% of your post-tax check in your own account. You're going to go to our life skills classes, which are Personal Finance 101. We also have now a workforce soft skills class. We also have a food budgeting and meal prep class. So help people understand how to get their food costs less than $5 per meal. And so while they're doing that and they go through our classes, at the end of 12 weeks, they'll have $5,000 of their own money saved in their own bank account that they can use to move into their own apartment. And so we've had several people come from PHP that have graduated through that program. And, the biggest thing is that it's not a handout, and they're doing it on their own with education and accountability, but they're also getting market rate apartments.
So as they're going through this 90-day program, you help them with budgeting, understand this.
Yeah.
Do they meet? How often do they meet? Is it once a week? Is it once a month?
Once a week. They'll come out every single week to our office, like closest to, we have 15 two-bedroom apartments. So that's where we run the programs out of, so that we are having them meet with our housing expert every single week. We're kind of being their support system. Everybody needs a support system. So we're making sure that they're making sure they're on track to save their money and that's sticking to their budget. And then B, just having else, if they have any, this isn't the case with your crew, but having any employment issues, do they need to find a better job, but just making sure that they're on pace and going to our classes and instilling those rules. Like all of our apartments are fully stocked kitchens. So when we're teaching them the food class, that here's how you set a shopping budget. This is what a normal shopping list would look like. And we're showing you how to make these things that we're helping you put it into practice while you're living with us. So that skill set is with you, and you can stop eating out and you could stop, You see so many people, I'm sure you see it on your job site, getting food delivered and
Oh
all
yeah.
that. And it's just a big waste of money. It's the one thing that people really have control over
Mhm.
that they just may not have that skill set. So we're trying to impart that and make it a something that you're doing daily and bringing your lunch to work. We even give them a $50 Kroger card when they attend the class. We tell them that, but so we're making sure that they get a good start and even just the container so that they can start bringing their lunch to work
Mhm.
and they can, really. We've seen people that can save $200-$300 a month that way.
Yeah. In all the work that I do and all the different programs, it doesn't matter where it's at. It seems like this demographic, one of the hardest things for them is their budgeting or understanding what food costs. Even in some of my classes that I have, and we talk about the cost of food, they don't even know what it's going to cost them to eat a week. Some guys say $50 or $100 or $200. They don't understand the cost of goods out there. So I think that's great that you're teaching them and the budgeting side of it. But what about the people that don't have a job? You guys help them as well. This program, the housing program, is for people that already have a job, already have a vehicle. They must have reliable transportation, I assume, right?
Not in the housing program.
Oh, no.
So that
Okay.
is we have several people, I'd say 50% of our clientele still have taking public transport.
Okay.
It's just difficult enough in the city. So
Mhm.
obviously, if you can make it to work
Mhm.
and you have a job that you're making at least $18 an hour, and if you don't have that job, we're going to help you find that.
Okay.
We've got a lot of different employer partners in Phoenix,
Mhm.
businesses like yourself, people that are just looking for qualified candidates.
Mhm.
What we'll do is sit down with the business and say, what are you looking for? What's the culture? What are the requirements? Is it bus accessible? What are the shift times, backgrounds, etc. So that we find somebody in our office and we say, hey, here's some qualified leads that we can get you connected to. We just really kind of set them up and how to interview properly and how to basically, what are the steps that you're going to need to be successful there, but you still have to do it,
Yeah.
right? So we're not helping somebody get a job, but we're just leading the way and guiding to that process.
So for someone like me years ago, when I look at before we met, and we're talking maybe 6, 7 years ago in my timeline of my business, I had maybe 15 to 20 employees during that time at the most. And now I'm running, last year we had as many as 100 employees. And for a company like myself and all the programs I'm involved in, I think your program, the other ones I'm involved in, really helps these men and women get back to work. If there's companies out there, and I have to honestly, truly say that my company would not be where it's at if it wasn't for programs like you and some of the other ones I'm involved in. That's how we grew with these vocational programs, with the life skills, with the budgeting classes. If there's a business out there, and that's one thing I really want to focus on in my personal time is teaching other businesses, here's how you grow, here's how you can grow, and you can help the community at the same time. How can, if you were to tell a business out there, here's what we can do for you, here's the changes we can make within your company that's already operating, what would that presentation, how would you explain that to a bit if somebody's watching and listening?
So we try to offer, it's kind of a trifold of what the services that we offer. So all of our services to our clients are free. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. Everything that we do, whether it's resources, gas cards, those types of things, they're all free. There's no program fees. Even living with us for 90 days, it's all free. So we go to a business, we say, we want to try to help you find qualified applicants. We want to help you fill open positions. We try to sit down, understand the culture, what that business is about, and then create a feedback loop so that when we have a qualified applicant in our office and we send them down there, what's that process like? How did they interview? If it didn't go well for whatever reason, what could we work on with that individual? We have a lot of volunteers that come in and can kind of work on those skill sets. So we're really trying to ensure they're successful. But then the other part of it is obviously, how many people do you have in your employee that are struggling with housing, right? So if we go to a business and say, hey, we can help any of your employees that are looking for that kind of 90-day break to be able to save money, get that educational piece, and be able to have secure, stable housing, because a lot of people don't know in their own business how many people are struggling with that. And so the last part is, and we were just talking about this, being able to offer the program and the life skills classes that we have, the Personal Finance 101, we really delve into debt navigation, saving strategies, the 50-30-20 budget model, and understanding your credit score and what you can do about it and how important it is. And then obviously our food class and wanting to be providing the services to businesses on site. So we were just talking about that. If we can come in on a Saturday, we're happy to come in and teach our personal finance class to anybody's, staff, or even the touchier one is the soft skills class, where we're really talking about how to become a better employee, how you can succeed in any line of work, whether it's a skilled trade job, whether it's an office job, whether it's, food and beverage, whatever it is. This is going to be the skill sets that you really need to succeed. And you look at them and you think, well, isn't that kind of obvious? But
Common sense.
But
Common sense isn't common anymore.
It is definitely not. And we hear that as the number one complaint from employees. It's not about like your ability to get the job done. It's about everything else, right? The communication, working with others in a team, like trying to teach people how to be a leader, even if it's not in your title. And the things that, whenever you look at whoever you've promoted in your business, these are the attributes that this person has to really get to the next level. So that's what we're trying to impart. And so that's what we really offer to a business, is that let us help you try to fill open positions. Let us help your people that are trying to get their own apartments and get more stable housing. And let us backfill those life skills to really help somebody succeed, because you could have a really good job, you could have stable housing, but if you don't know how to manage your money, it's not going to work. And it's very easy to get evicted nowadays. There was a record number of evictions last year. I think there was almost 90,000 in Maricopa County. Because it's very easy for landlords to file a 5-day notice. You used to have to hire an attorney. You don't really have to do that anymore. And so we don't want to see anybody get evicted, because then that makes it a bigger challenge down the road. So we're really it all starts with us through quality employment. And that means $18 an hour, upward mobility, and benefits. And that's what we consider, and W-2. That's what we consider to be quality employment and opportunity. So sometimes people just need a job, right? We kind of go through our funnels of a job, a better job, a career job. Now, your roles are definitely a better job and a career job. You're able to move up through the company as you get up through the individual, whether it's a site manager and getting into estimating and all the things that you offer here. But we really want to see people grow and just have that opportunity. So those are the things that we stay in their life to help, try to follow up with them from a retention standpoint. I know that we talk about that a lot. We talk about where people are at from people that we've helped a couple of years ago. So it's really just wanting to see people's success and be invested in trying to get them connected to quality employment. And it's really hard today with harder than it needs to be. Everything's online. So people get frustrated. They put in an application, they don't hear anything. It might be because they just don't have a quality resume. Like it really doesn't, it's not accomplishment driven. It's not really, it may not make it through their online resume reading system. So we're really helping with all of that to try to get them connected. And I think that, and some people just like, hey, if I can get in front of somebody, I can really perform. And so if we can cut through that timetable, like our average time from somebody walking through our door to get employed is 22 days. Like start from, coming through our door to actually getting a start date, which is really good. And so we're trying to obviously get that down a little bit. So the more connections we have to employers and getting that feedback loop, the better that will make that timetable.
One of the biggest things I hear from a lot of employers like myself is I can't find anybody to work. There's no labor out there. Sounds like you would be that resource. But something I want to touch on that you mentioned earlier was about coming in on a Saturday and helping with these different things. For me, I teach a lot of that already, but where I can see the advantage for me is it's one thing for these guys constantly hear the same thing from me over and over and over. You could bring the exact same thing, but just hearing it from somebody different might maybe make something click inside their head. But the other thing too is, I think the problem with a lot of employers is they don't understand their employees' financial situations. And they don't know if they're struggling. They don't know if they're going to get evicted. They don't know where they're at financially. And that's one thing I believe in, and I call it PPFs, personal, professional, and financial goals. And if I can make that list, if I can help my employees with their personal, their professional, or financial goals, I want to know what they're struggling, what their needs are. If I can understand that, then my PPFs, my personal, professional, and financial goals will happen. But I don't think I will reach mine unless I can help my employees reach theirs. Because if they're financially stable, if they're successful, then the company will be successful. Because if your employees aren't successful, your company's not going to be successful. It acts with each other. It's connected. If that makes sense.
It's very symbiotic. And I think that obviously a lot of small business owners, you're small to medium, it's having that kind of level of interest in your employees is what's going to make you see the bigger picture, and that's going to make you successful. And not just, hey, why is somebody not sticking around? Or if we have turnover, why did this person leave? And understanding what people's real motivation and interests are, I think will, but to your point, it is paramount, right, to your success. and their success. And like, you guys will only succeed together. Like, any business is only going to be as strong as the weakest link. And so all of that is this chain that's tied together. But to your point, as a parent, I hear that a lot. Like, you can come in and tell your son or daughter these things, and then somebody else comes in and tells them the same thing. And you're like, okay, now you're going to listen. And it's very, I used to go to Crossroads quite a bit when I used to go in and teach classes about, we're going to help you find a job while they were in recovery treatment. And ultimately, I'm coming in there and kind of giving the same message, right? That your recovery is the most important thing. That's your job. And then what you do for money should come after that. And so ultimately, the same thing happens with finances. Same thing happens with budgeting, that you're really looking at, if we come in here and say, this is what it's going to take to succeed. We see it day in, day out. It's taught by our controller, who's got an immense amount of obviously financial knowledge. And so just hearing that message reinforces those things, that if you're not paying yourself first, if you're not saving money, if you're not giving into impulse buys, if you're not getting DoorDash, if all of these things that are going to help you to succeed, that we're happy to come in there and teach that on Saturday. We do it once a month at our office for all of our people, because that's when people are available. We can't be teaching a class at 3:00 on a Wednesday
when they're supposed to be at work.
Right. And so for us, it's always work is the most important thing. Like, you cannot do anything without a quality job. Right? In this valley, you probably need to make $22, $23 an hour to even be remotely self-sustainable. So you've got to be on a pathway to do that. In the meantime, even if you're making $18 or $19 an hour, we're going to show you that path of how to do it through these austerity measures, that how to budget, how to food shop, and really be able to teach you those skill set until you're able to grow in your career. And I think that you are such a huge proponent of the soft skills when we were kind of testing out that class and you were helping us with it. But it resonates because it's the number one thing we hear from employers. Why are people not succeeding? It's not usually, and your case is really, you're growing and you're getting more businesses. We see a lot of people that are, in that area of growth. And so I think if we can help them provide that service and that relationship with the employees, that is hard to have. As if you're not a small business owner and invested in it, we can help with that.
The wheels are always turning in my head. And as we're sitting here, I'm thinking, how can we create a new concept where you're helping the employees, you're helping the people get jobs? What if we help the employers? How do we teach them how to change their way of doing business, their mindset of how they're hiring, what they're doing? I think if we could change them to see the success of something like what I'm doing here, and how we've grown leaps and bounds just by opening our eyes and opening our doors to this new way of doing things. If more businesses would do that, there would be more success, not just in their companies, in the community, people getting jobs. I think there's a way to do that. And in throwing that out there, how are you connecting with the businesses? You've got your outreach to help people get jobs, but how does your outreach to businesses? I mean, it's one thing they just call up and find you, but what are you guys doing internally to create a bigger door there for more opportunities?
Kind of our business development strategy, if you will. I mean, so basically it will either be, myself or Lindsay, who's our chief program officer. We're always trying to go out and connect with businesses. We have 18 members on our board of directors. And so ultimately they all have connections. And so we try to look for those symbiotic relationships. So we've been able to find a lot of quality partnerships that way. So businesses as big as U-Haul that really give us a good feedback loop. They have almost like 8 or 9 different businesses inside of their own company. So a lot of different opportunity, but we're really trying to put the word out there. I think that's, as a nonprofit, that's always the struggle. We don't have marketing dollars.
Sure.
Like 90 cents of every dollar that we raise goes right back into programs. So we're really operating in a lean and mean way. So we're really trying to get the word out there, things like this, but also going knocking on doors and saying, hey, this is what we put together. And I think finally having a cohesive strategy that says, this is what we do for people. And so the community can only succeed when everybody participates in it. And I think businesses get frustrated when they're, hey, we're just going to put an ad out on Indeed, right? And I'm going to get this influx of 45 resumes that don't fit the bill, and I'm going to spend time doing this, or ZipRecruiter and some of these things. So, or they're going out to job fairs. So we're really, I think if we can create that paradigm, and that's why do so many people go to staffing companies, right? These temp to perm staffing companies where the pull-through rate is really low. And so they're not getting a job at the company after 90 days. And they're basically just, paying for wholesale labor.
Yeah.
And so why does a person go there when they have a skill set, a car? Because it's easy. They don't want to go through the other stuff. And so, hey, I don't want to go on Indeed and do this resume because I can go talk to somebody and I'll get a job off a menu. So I think if we can create that new paradigm of businesses realizing we have this service to offer, getting qualified applicants, getting people that are hired there. Like we've made relationships just off of 1 or 2 people getting a job there that have been there for 5 or 6 years. And so I think that is usually what happens. The first person we send there, that we get that feedback loop. And if they succeed, then they're like, hey, I'd get as many people as I can from you. So it's really getting the word out, things like this. And it's us going out and just using our network of people to, what they kind of say, well, what's St. Joseph the Worker? I've never heard of this. That's a church. And so it's really, getting more name recognition, showing people what we do, and just having testimonials like this that really say, hey, this works and you guys should try it.
And for business owners out there, if you're listening, I haven't ran an ad, I think, in 3 years for employees. I don't need to anymore. It's because of programs like yours and the others that I'm involved. So imagine the savings just in that, just Craigslist alone. If you run an ad on there, I think it's $35, $45 every time you do it. And we used to do that every single week nonstop.
And the amount of time it's going to take you to screen people, have them come. So when we're sending a qualified applicant over, we've already hit all the marks that they're looking for, right? Could be whether it's experience, whether it's skills, whether it's obviously we want to make sure that if they're taking public transportation, it's no more than 1 hour one way, no more than one transfer, so that they're actually going to stick to it. But it's also any background requirements. We run into a lot of people where it's no theft, no violence, and just really sending somebody over that knows how to interview, that we've already screened out, the want to, that they have everything that they need. So we're really, that's kind of what anybody's looking for. But, when you can spend less time and less money getting a quality just to acquire a new employee, then obviously everybody wins.
Yeah. Most of the programs I'm involved in, like yours, if I get a call from one of your employees, and you've got a girl working there, her name's Dee. I love her. She's amazing. She calls me all the time if somebody pops up that could be a good fit for us. And I would say 9 out of 10 times we end up hiring that person.
Yeah.
It's just, she already knows what we're looking for in the background, and we've done it. We've worked together long enough that she understands us as a company. And I think that's great. Now, I know you have an event coming up here in November
6th.
Okay.
So it's our annual fundraiser. And this year will be, so we've done it for 2 years at the Grove, which is at Clayco's offices. They host it. They're a huge design build firm here in Phoenix. And so it's at 44th Street and Camelback. It's right next to the Global Ambassador. It's on the rooftop. And so we've done that for the last couple of years. We're going to do that again. That's from 5 to 7. But we're super excited this year. There's another event afterwards where we're doing actually in their offices, where we're going to have casino night. We're going to have Beat the Pro Golfer. We have an LPGA golfer, Cheyenne Woods, is going to come in. And so anybody, they have a track man. If you're into golf, you'll know these things. And so kind of a closest to the pin with prizes. And then we're also going to have a really great band. The Black Moods are going to be playing there acoustically. We're also going to have a 20s speakeasy bar there. So it's called Club 88. That's kind of the year we were incorporated. So it's going to be this amazingly fun event. Obviously, it's all for a good cause. This is kind of, we're hoping to raise $300,000 this year. So you can go to our website and look at that at theworkeraz.org, all one word. And basically, we'd love to have anybody come out, and it's a lot of businesses that get together there and support it. And obviously, Clayco is a huge contractor, so we get a lot of people in the construction trade. So it's really a great networking event as well. But Carrie and I, who's our CEO, have always wanted to create an event where we would want to go to it. And it's not a knock on any other event. We've done breakfasts and galas and these types of things, and you go to them and they're kind of a little boring. But this one's going to be and something that's super fun. And I hope anybody that wants to come out, they can check it out on our website and come out.
Yeah, I went to one of these 2 years ago. I missed last year to some prior thing that had come up that I had to go to, but I'm definitely coming this year. I definitely want to be a part of it.
Even that rooftop happy hour, you can't really beat
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, it's literally overlooking Camelback Mountain on a November night on a happy hour watching sunset.
The weather's perfect.
It's
great
definitely,
event.
and we get to have some speakers out there that we've had people that come through our program and that really get to see, touch it, see it, feel it of people that say how it's impacted their life, because ultimately, we tell the stories. People want to see, hey, if I give money, where's it going to, right? Like you could go to Charity Navigator. They can see we have a 4-star rating, but when people give money to a cause, they want to know that it's going to the clientele. And so really, it's going to be a really fun time. We've got a lot of great response so far. And to me, if you love music, golf, gambling, or having a couple drinks for a good cause,
that's the place to be.
This is the place to be.
That's awesome. I'm definitely coming this year. Daren, I want to thank you for coming on here. This was great. I definitely want to get the word out there, whether it's employers out there, whether it's somebody looking for a job. If you need help, we're going to post the information. If you need to reach out to us. We'll personally contact you. We'll get you over to St. Joseph the Worker. They're going to help you get a job. They're going to help you with housing. It sounds like they do everything. There's nothing you guys aren't doing right now. I think it's an amazing program.
Say, like, all you really need to do is bring 2 forms of ID and a desire to work. We're going to help you. We're going to help you get to the interviews. If you need interview clothing, we still help with, you get a job at John's place, so you got a PHP. We're going to help you with the work tools to show up that you're work ready day one. We're going to help you with the the white pants and all the paint tools. We're going to go to Dunn Edwards. We're going to get it all taken care of for you so that you have what you need to make it through to your first paycheck and you show up work ready on day one.
But they got to want it.
They got to want it. We cannot give the want to.
Yes.
Like, if you have it inside of you, we will remove any barrier you have to getting a quality job. But as long as you walk through our doors with 2 forms of ID and a desire to work, we're going to help you.
You guys have heard it right here. If you need a job, if you need help, the help's out there. You can't go through life anymore thinking, oh, I just can't make it. If you can't make it, it's on you at this point. You have to want it. You have to want more. You have to want something more successful in your life. Where you can't be comfortable with easy anymore. You almost have to be uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and you got to push yourself to grow. You got to push yourself to learn. You got to push yourself to be successful. Daren, thank you for joining me today. Once again, guys, appreciate you watching. Subscribe. Stay hungry.